think you can launch us when you're ready, Carson.
Oh, shoot. So we're just kind of waiting for people to come on in. This is what we usually wait a couple minutes for folks to kind of come on in.
Sounds great.
Um,
Wrapping up lunch hour.
Yeah.
Does anyone have lunch
hour? Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have a conversation about this. This is gonna be really fun.
Me too. Yeah. Fun to be together.
Yeah. Well, let's give another 20 seconds or so, and then we'll dive into the agenda.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, why don't we get started? So today we are here to talk about what do we do, how to create a contactless game day experience. For today's agenda for this webinar, we will be discussing how the game day experience is changing, the new standard with the digital fan journey. Obviously, with COVID, there's been some acceleration. And so, what are some of the new trends looking forward in the next, 3 to 5 years? What are some of the benefits of kind of contactless technology, right? Pre-COVID, we've been talking about cashless transactions have been an ongoing trend. In this kind of new world, what does that mean and look like? And what is it, and how can your venue or location get started? And then we'll wrap it up with some Q&A. And I'm really fortunate to introduce Sue. She's a wonderful lady, CEO, leader, all around, just a great human. And I'm really excited to. Why don't you introduce yourself, Sue, and the company, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
That sounds great, Carson. I was looking forward to it too. I mean, it's a hot topic. It's a very important topic. And so it's nice to show up together and be valuable for the community. I've been in the technology industry, leading technology companies for over 20 years. And we've seen a lot of technology change over 20 years. I've always got a little noise on my shoulder that says with technology, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Sometimes technology can go faster than adoption's ready, and that's really not a great idea. It's not high value. What's so interesting about right now is with all these variables around COVID and everybody needs to be safe. We want fans back in stands. We want schools having that just roaring, thunderous game day. All of a sudden, the technology has incredibly fast adoption. And I think it's exciting for us. A lot of responsibility on our shoulders. I think you and I both love it, and we want to execute and be super high valuable for our schools and partners that we work with. So excited to be here today.
Yeah, me too. And a little bit about FanFood. So we started about 6 years ago. I'm the CEO and co-founder, former background in the Army. But really, why we started is we create kind of F&B ordering experiences that meet today's contactless expectations. And the company's mission from the very beginning was, how do we make the online kind of the ordering process as frictionless as possible? Because fans don't like to wait in long lines at sporting events. And for those folks behind the concession stand, how do we make it super easy to use? So we've been doing that for the last 6 years. And here we are. Sue, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great,
and your company.
Awesome. So from now on, we came out of our parent company, CRI's Innovation Lab, 6 years ago. So we come out of a company that's been doing mobile technology for about 14 years. And they do a lot of mobile banking, mobile credit cards. So it's high volume, highly sensitive transactions, a lot of really good stuff to kind of be born out of. And our schools continue to call us the one-stop shop digital game day. We come up with these big terms and they come back and say, we love that you're one-stop shop, that fans go one place for streaming, for everything game day, everything athletics. And we've really gotten a lot of great feedback about being one click away for the streaming, the audio, the game day program, just really bringing schools to deliver the beautiful things they're already delivering through a digital platform. new revenue opportunities. Schools need to generate revenue always, and more now than ever, in unique ways with less fans and stands. And engagement opportunities. Fans are addressable, they're hungry, they want that feel. So we work with colleges, conferences, championship events. We love working with the NCAA. We love working with the NAIA. High schools, they're awesome. They have tons of tradition, tons to do. So we've really enjoyed being in the marketplace and can't wait to see, the next phase as we all tackle this contactless game day.
Yeah. Thank you. Sue, do you want to kick this one off?
It's just crazy, I guess, Carson, as we look back a year ago, kind of about the adoption of technology. People were talking about mobile ordering and doing it. You could speak better than I can. People were talking about mobile ticketing, and some doing it, some not. And people were talking about that in venue. How do we hype up that in venue experience? Let's get everybody in seats. Let's reward them for coming. Let's make it so memorable they refer to it the rest of their life. And now we got to do that at home. So let's help the schools do everything they can to create that game day experience at home that we all once felt in the stands and will feel again in the stands.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. Do you want to speak to some of the trends that you've been seeing in the space?
For sure. I think, again, responsibly as partners in this sector, I think you and I have talked about it. We want to do all we can to shore up contactless game days for our schools so that they can get fans in stands. Let's have some roaring thunder, amazing student athlete memories and experiences. Mobile ticketing is just a big one to call out. Our experience, we've been doing mobile ticketing for about 3 years. And, it's beautiful. It's touchless, it's convenient, it's safe, all things we need now. So it's beautiful help in moving toward getting fans back in stands. In the wallet, tradition of sports is a beautiful thing. So we want to retain that tradition. So we see fans, preserving that memory in their wallet still, which is a big deal. Again, a year ago, some schools were doing mobile ticketing. Some were talking about mobile ticketing. Same with, contactless ordering and payment. And now every school we're talking to, even together or individually, if they're not implementing it, they're about to implement it and they're talking about it. I'll jump over to, there's some great stats on here. We'll send out this afterwards too for people to read, digital fan engagement, 80% of fans, people are on their phone. Let's reach them where they are. And we'll dive into the digital journey of a fan on game day a little bit after this slide. But right now, digital, about fan engagement, about personalization, fans are more addressable than ever. We're all hungry for that connection, for that heartwarming feeling that we get with games. Sponsors want love. We can't do it without them. We need those sponsors aligned front and center with our brands. And so we're seeing schools do just super cool things, from engagement. Loyalty and rewards by its nature, as you show up to a game and we reward you. Thank you for your loyalty. Here's potentially a prize. Well, that's not possible for everybody. So we're seeing schools do cool things like, hey, let's grab a local sponsor and let's geofence it and let's reward fans for getting to go from that great sponsor. So now the sponsor's got some love. They're in a promotion that's saying Tuesday go here and you get loyalty and rewards points. By the way, there's a leaderboard. We're also seeing some really cool trivia stuff go on. Like a bunch of our schools do on Tuesday trivia. Hungry for some trivia? Brought to you by local sponsor. Lands on the home screen. The fans like, awesome. They click, answer a couple quick questions, maybe about who was the Heisman or what was the last, season record, or just neat things to keep that feeling about the game and the season engaged. So we've seen a lot around personalization too. I don't know, Carson, if you want to jump in on any of that, don't hesitate. But people want to have personalized, customized, contextual communication. So if I like football and I'm in the venue, there's certain things I'm going to want, maybe give me a buy one, get one. If I like football and I'm at home, give me something specific. And you got to have it high value, if high value for people, whether they're in the game or whether they're at home, it's got to be very personalized to them, for them, high value, and help those fans stay really engaged.
And why, I guess, and I think that's an important piece, right? From like a data perspective, how, why does that matter? Why does the personalization matter, and why now? Besides COVID, right? Take COVID out.
Right. Yeah. You and I both know well, being in the technology business, that people are sensitive about what's on their phone. Phones are really intimate. Most people sleep with it within arm's length.
Mhm.
So, if you're going to be on my phone, I really would like you to be valuable, and I'd like it to be personal to me. I don't want it generic to the world. That's beautiful maybe on TV, but I want personal to me on my device. So just more than ever, it's just what's expected. Whether we like it or not, we're compared to the best apps experience out there. Starbucks, beautiful. Follow what they do, adopt what they do. They're driving consumer behavior. You get in a Starbucks drive-through and everybody's using their phone, and you hand your credit card out and you look like you're like, which one doesn't fit the other? So
Mhm.
I think we have to keep up with the greatest experience possible, so those fans feel connected to their school. They're having
Yeah.
that same experience with their school they're having with the top brands and the top mobile experiences that exist.
Yeah. And, it's kind of interesting when we started the FanFood, obviously we wanted to chase the shiny objects and, go into the professional, the big leagues. And we learned really quick that, they have their own personalized, kind of branded, unique app. And we're like, that's going to be tough. So let's start small. Let's build an iOS and Android app. But for us with FanFood, the way that we started with personalization is from the kind of the operator perspective. Hey Sue, welcome to this high school, or hey Sue, welcome to this college stadium or arena. That was like our phase one, the kind of the landing page. And I had to be, it's funny because our head of product was like, Carson, that's not frictionless. That provides more friction in the consumer journeys. And so, it's like, all right, good point. And then what we learned was, the industry, once the apps, we heard a lot like, oh, they don't want to download just another app to place, in venue orders. So what we did was we kind of rolled out a progressive web app, and our personalization was to the stores. Like, so we could be able for the, end consumer, the fan inside an event could scan a QR code behind seats, and web app pops up. So you don't have to download an app. But I think it was important for us to keep that same experience from, the iOS and Android as compared to the PWA. And I think like product team did a great job with keeping that, that in sync. So,
it's interesting as you talk through it, I think about there are so many perspectives to what we're all trying to do with Contactless Game Day, or with having fans have a great experience, schools have great game day, sponsors, align with brands they love. It's, like right here, as we're talking about, looking at it from the fan perspective, I think we're in a different spot. Like we, to address the fans, we might have just filled the seats, and now we can address the fans because they're in our beautiful home and our venue, and we've got them. Let's do great things with them. And the fans are happy and everybody's happy. And now we're having to pause a little bit and say, what do fans really want? And how do we make sure in the new, a new contactless or safe venue or at home or limited fans, all those unfortunate things that, hey, we got to deal with them, make the best of them. It feels like we got to stay really close to understanding what matters to the fan. Because as we know, for schools, if we don't have the fan's ear, all we communicate doesn't get to where we need it to get to. So I feel like I know you and I have talked about it as partners in the community, for college, for high schools. The more we understand what the fan's behavior is, what's important to the fan, the more we can make sure we have that open communication channel for our schools to communicate, to keep that engagement, and keep things exciting and alive for all these universities and high schools out there.
Definitely. One of the kind of unique, things that one of the ideas that was brought up at, on our team was, this kind of idea of, no, we recognize that, attendance, is not, events, not looking too hot, for when the next 3 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, when do you think COVID is going to come back?
Boy, I would have no idea.
Yeah. But neither do we, right? Neither do we. And it's like, so what can we control? Where can we actually put our, brain stuff to? And I think we recognize that, fans want more than, a dangly like hot dog from the concession, the concession stand, and they don't want to wait in lines. And it was kind of interesting, this kind of idea of how could we kind of connect maybe local restaurants or, food trucks, as kind of another concession stand for events. And I loved, and I love that idea, because in a time right now where our economy and all this craziness is going on, and, whoever, the outcome of the presidency, whatever, which way it goes, craziness, like there's this craziness. And, it's, to think that, the technology that we could create can still make a real impact is super important.
I think, this slide's a beautiful transition, and continuing to what you're saying, who knows what the future looks like. So mindset management 101, get out of bed every day and make sure you're controlling your mindset. And hopefully it's positive, innovative, and generous to others, and it makes for a good day. I think one thing that we've really focused on is, when all of this hit, we said, hey, we got this beautiful roadmap, but now we have to pause and say, what on this roadmap matters with no games? What on this roadmap matters with fans or no games or games and no fans every day? And so, yeah, this next transition, the digital journey of the fan, I think we've all paused and said, let's map out that digital journey of the fan, and let's create the most contactless experience we can create. You can't stop a young boy from touching a handrail, or a girl from rubbing her arm down the wall as she's jogging to her seat, but we can do a ton in our part as the kind of technology solution providers to Gamedays to create contactless. So I'll maybe start with a journey and then roll over to you, Carson. So let's say it's game day, and maybe we imagine there's fans. We'll kind of talk.
Who knows?
There will be, and there's some places.
Oh, absolutely.
So game day, I get out of bed, I get a notification on my home screen. It says, hey, welcome Warrior fans, maybe click here for game day policies and map your way. And a notification starts your day off with, a great connection to the school. And maybe I'm driving and I pull into my parking garage, and great news, I pull up my phone and I have right in my app, I have my parking pass. So no touching money, no touching things back and forth, safe worker, safe fan, things are moving. I get to get in line, stay 6 feet apart, and get into the venue and swipe my ticket. Awesome. Nobody had to get very close. We didn't have to change money, touch things back and forth. And, I'm moving along, and hey, I don't need to grab that game day program. It's in my app. Who's that Nebraska kid? You can tell I'm from Nebraska. That's our new freshman that I'm going to watch out for today. You can open your app and click around and check him out, read his bio, look at his story. Again, enrich that feeling you want. Maybe your kid has his jersey on, and so you really have that great game day experience, and you haven't had to touch anything, and workers don't have to be nervous, and we can have this seamless transition. And all of a sudden, I'm getting set up for the day, and I get into my seat, and hey, I'm hungry, or boom, I need something to eat, or I want to plan for halftime. And that's the beautiful part where you guys pick up, and you want to walk a little bit through how that game day continues in a touchless way.
Yeah, no, it's, and I think, and this is why I love this slide. I think it does a really good job of kind of simplifying the entire kind of contactless game day in this new world. It's totally interesting because, when I think about the fan experience pre-COVID, you have a certain definition, right? And now, like, the definition has changed. What does kind of fan experience, mean in this kind of post-COVID world? Like pre-COVID, right? It was, how do we kind of create this, ultimate, it's more of that, like, memories, like the memories in staying, in the moment, and just not missing a second. And like today, it's, the experience, what matters is people want to feel comfortable. Yeah. So, and safe and secure, right? And so in venue, this, I think, just hits it on the plate because, with the kind of the technology that we created, it allows, people to bypass lines and, in a way that does make people feel safe. And I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And like you said, the rich tradition, maybe you go to your game and you have a whole morning before the game even starts because you go watch the marching band, and you may tailgate, or you have these certain places you like to walk to see the campus. And I think schools are doing a great job putting together things like maybe a morning trivia, hey, again, Warrior fans, click here for game day trivia. And it just tries to breadcrumb them back into that that game day again. And schools are doing neat things, and we want to continue to help them bring that into the pocket of the fan, whether they're at home or whether they're in the game. So yeah, and the beautiful thing on that game day. So say I get into my seat and I'm like, hey, I know what, at some point we're going to be hungry for those burgers and fries and Gatorade. So let's pre-order. And it's awesome with your technology. We can pre-order and all.
Yeah, and I think that was important for us, because our first step was, order now, for express pickup and in-seat delivery, and then we're like, what if we want to order in advance, and maybe get notified when our order is like ready for pickup, or even maybe before we get to the game, and have your stuff ready so you don't have to even wait. And maybe that could be a more efficient way for the operator to, prep their inventory, right? Prep their concessions.
Yeah, Carson, you mentioned that in your experience, you guys are serving a lot of venues now and a lot of various industries even. You commented something about people load their cart larger. What are some of the things you guys have experienced there with mobile ordering versus if I'm standing in line? I know you rattled off some good statistics around that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the biggest challenge pre-COVID that we had was getting people to, getting that in-venue kind of utilization rate. That was really hard. It's hard to market. It's hard to do in stadiums. And, and I think in this new kind of environment, you have cashless operations. That is the kind of de facto, standard now across the board. And unfortunately, it took COVID to kind of bring it to the, attention, to kind of light a fire and make some moves. But, here we are. So.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, so some of the, I think some of the statistics now, I mean, I think we were just looking at a data report not too long ago, and our basket sizes were significantly higher than kind of what was compared. And something that even in this own webinar that really stuck was that the 41.8% of purchases inside a venue. I mean, that kind of blows my mind, actually, if you think about it, because and I don't know shout out to whoever found out that statistic. Because 41.8% of all transactions, holy crap. So not even just in venue, but all transactions are contactless. And it's crazy, right? Because, we saw it pre-COVID, 1% of total fans in attendance, 3% of total fans in attendance. Mm-hmm. And now, and here we are. And, we saw, I think with our technology, we quickly, proved that we can reduce long lines quite significantly. So,
yeah, and I think, human behavior is a hard thing to change. Don't they say you have to do something for 30 days to have a new habit?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's hard. And we don't have 30 games in a row. So we can't really say, for the next 30 days, do mobile ticketing, mobile ordering, mobile whatever. I think with the safe, fear drives a lot of behavior. And unfortunately, we all have a little fear around that safe game day. I think we're all excited and feel like it's right at our fingertips to enlarge the fan attendance, which is great news. And I think, that behavior is going to be driven pretty quick. And I think there's a lot of, statistics we saw that show people don't order as much as they want because they feel hurried, or they don't know if they have the right change, or, just the pressure of I'm in line and I don't want to be that guy that's holding people up from the next play. And so it could end up a beautiful thing that people, get more game day food. People don't always eat what they eat at home at a game. More game day food, more ordering, more revenue for schools. And we're just going to enter into a new era with all the different things that need to happen in a safe, contactless environment. And I think we're prepared to support it together. And a lot of partners out there are prepared to support the schools through it. Yeah.
Wow. You said it better than I could have. So I love this slide too. This is awesome.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, we keep coming up with these beautiful titles for our platform, and our schools keep saying, we love that you're one-stop shop. And so, you know what? Let's do what they want. We're a one-stop shop. maybe I'll give a little bit, on right now, especially my phone was blowing up today. I saw some of our schools changing schedules and some reminding fans of game day procedures, how they've changed, some reminding fans of streaming this weekend, and just a lot of need to communicate real-time information, kind of key moments. So, that real-time updates on the left, some things that, can really help fans and help schools, pregame on the bottom there, it's before the game, head into the game, click here and pre-order. Let's have the day you want. Let's get that hot dog. Let's not have Junior walking out saying, man, I really wanted that one special burger and I didn't get it. Let's pre-order it. There's some beautiful benefits to it. And, the other notification in the middle, it's a little bit small, at tip off. Hey, it's tip off. Let's start to engage those fans. Let's get a notification. Hey, it's tip off. Click to watch, click to listen, click for live stats. Enjoy the game. Let's have you back. And then the top one, just show kind of a we win, you win. Again, some fun, whether we're in venues or not. We can do a we win, you, right away, click and the post-game show, click to watch the post-game show, keep that conversation, that experience going for the fan, and show some love, brought to you by McDonald's, your favorite sponsor. It's a great way to just continue to communicate real-time things to fans. Right now, people are a little bit looking for where's the information, and schools are saying, we still have a lot of awesome stuff going on. Let's make sure we communicate to the schools and get it in their pocket. And, game day in a pocket, and unintentional transition. The schools keep telling, they want to streamline. They don't want a video app. They don't want a streaming app over here and maybe a loyalty app over here and different apps. They want one app because they have a lot of cool stuff and they want fans to participate in as much of it as they want to. So that's what we show here, in the middle of that screen on the Game Day in a Pocket. You just click to watch, click to listen. Let's grab that social feed and kind of get into that chatter, play-by-play fun stuff. And boy, my ticket's right there, my loyalty rewards. And
this is awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some to keep it simple, right? Keeping the experience in a one, and
schools are doing great stuff, and fans want to be part of it. Let's get it right in everybody's hands, and
definitely.
And then like you talk about there with you clicking right in to view the concessions, get what you want, get order and pay, make it seamless, make it contactless, and have fans just have a great experience and if they're fortunate to get in, maybe it's just friends, maybe it's just family right now, but still hopefully have the game day experience that they want to have. And, we got to get ready for what's coming around the corner. We're going to be back in some form. And I think schools are doing a great job getting ready for that.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. And that's what we're seeing too.
Revenue streams, as we all know, listening to our schools, and they need to generate revenue, and sponsors are a key part of all of these organizations operating, and sponsors want to be aligned with their brands and they want visibility. And so, we've talked about this. We kind of all stopped and said, now how do we create visibility for sponsors? They're awesome. They're our friends. They make it work. So the one on the left, we've seen schools do some fun stuff. And this one was really fun. A lot of our schools grabbed onto this, like, anybody hungry? And they do a notification at noon, hey, if you're hungry, click here for the menus of our favorite sponsors. By the way, if you want, you can order, pay, and manage it all through, the FanFood app, so that you have a one click and boom, it's at your curbside when you're ready for it. So we've seen schools do some really cool things like this to promote their local sponsors, and then have fans say, oh, fun, it's Tuesday at noon and my school just showed up. I'm gonna order something from my favorite sponsor here. And then, again, just these other opportunities to drive revenue. I don't know if you want to touch on a couple of those there, Carson.
Yeah, I think, what started as just, concessions, the thing that I love about supporting the local partners, and it's similar to, when COVID hit, one of our, employees at FanFood came up with this idea called Building Eats. And it's very similar because it's a pre-order meal delivery service. And the goal is to really drive those AOVs higher from a family meal, and then, make it commission free, so that it, the aim is to kind of make a real impact. And so, I kind of, it very similar, because, if you click like one of those local restaurants, or, one of those local things, imagine like on a Friday night football game, right? every event could offer a different local restaurant. And you think about what the pre-orders could look like, right? I mean, even if there was only 100 people, right, that placed orders, only 100, and at, $50 each, $5,000, that's monthly rent for, some of these restaurants. So.
Yeah. And, again, through the platforms like these, you can help drive that behavior. And that's in a super well-intended way. I think all of us do like to support the sponsors that are near and dear to our programs. So,
and
hey,
then,
they are.
Yes. And I know a lot of our current customers, this is what some of the feedback that we're getting from, the customers, from our team is that, they're starting to offer things like merchandise, and they're starting to offer things like tickets, and concessions is awesome, but, why not, start to add other categories, and make that just, and help, be helpful, but, so that we can help the booster clubs, right? Think about most booster clubs, or most, they need, that's revenue streams for, so, I think that's also, right, super, super important. So, so it's been super awesome to see like the innovation and creativity, that's been going on, quickly too. And it's been awesome to see that customers can, benefit from that.
And kind of following what you were talking about there, Carson, I think that, the neat thing about technology is once it's built, it's multi-purpose, right? You guys have done a beautiful job with, let's call it this, payment platform. So it could be click to get a ticket, like you said, let's click and get a hot dog, or let's click and get a pom-pom. It's a matter of just inventory of items and the beautiful way you can present it. And I know somebody asked through the chat what we look like together, and this is a pretty good snapshot. You click on our concessions card on the front. I think a couple of those are our current customers that asked, and boy, you click into it and it takes you right here to your inventory. It can be several stores. If you are a stadium that has many concessions, it may lay out all of them, and I click on that one and I get that menu. I order, boom, I get a text, the order's received. I get a text when it's ready. I get a text when afterwards, please give us a survey and rate. Or the merchandise, if you have 3 or 4, a cap, maybe a lid stand and a hoodie stand, or what you might have around your venue, you can lay out all those stores, and you can click and purchase that way. A lot of schools have partners already. Hey, let's honor that and be respectful of all the partners that exist. Definitely. But if you're looking for a way to integrate all this together, we're doing beautiful things together. And again, the ability to sit with the school, Carson, between us and say, what things are you guys wanting to have transactions for? What things are you trying to promote? Great, let's get them in there. Let's make it beautiful and simple and help the school. Yeah. Well said. So some of the benefits. How did social distancing become a household word? Here we are. Dive in, Carson.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we've been kind of preaching for when in my mind, if you take social distancing as kind of like a key benefit, but really what that means is fan experience, right? How do we provide the ultimate fan experience at the end of the day? And how do we make that as frictionless as possible, but also recognize that we got a lot of problems on the operator side that is worth addressing, right? We got, and this is it. I think this is a snapshot of, I think what represents this, this partnership, and all the value that it can bring for customers. What do you think, Sue? Yeah, I agree. There's, benefits of Contact Gameday. Really, I think the why is, again, same thing, fans in the stands, fans feeling safe, schools having that roaring, thunderous gym on a Thursday night volleyball game, a stadium on a Saturday football game day. We still need the contact. Schools have great ways of engaging and creating loyalty, like we've talked about, through creating digital interaction, whether they're doing, like we've talked about, loyalty and rewards programs to still reach out to them and give them great opportunities to engage with the school, whether it's through a sponsor, through attendance, through clicking into a coach's show, still different ways to reward, create that leaderboard, create some interaction.
You know, and again, we talk a lot about sponsors and new revenue streams. Ideally, with this contactless game day, we've seen it from others. A lot of times you learn from just observing others, and then you make something else out of it. But everything should be a sponsor opportunity in a polite, good way for fans. Whether it's sponsoring the hand sanitizer, we've seen a lot of that, which is actually a great thing. It sounds kind of funny, but it's a great, beautiful thing, and good job, sponsor. So everything we do to try to engage, generate loyalty, we really need to look at, can that be a great sponsorable opportunity so that we can have sponsors aligned with the new game day that we're heading toward, and new revenue streams. Again, it's been such a flip for everybody. Let's create unique in-venue experiences. And now we're saying, it's not possible. It's not in the control of the fan or the school. So how do we get all that really awesome stuff, revenue streams, sponsorship opportunities that are in venue? How do we get them in front of the fan? That digital platform is a beautiful way to do it. And streaming is a beautiful way to do it. So really looking at, if there aren't fans, how do we help schools generate revenue? I think a lot of those are good ways to generate revenue.
Yeah, I do too. So, Sue, how do we get started?
So, I think our goal today was to really talk about contactless game day and really be a support to the schools in the community to say, hey, if it feels complicated to be getting your game day app, to be getting your mobile ordering and your mobile ticketing, we're here to help. We're here to consult and advise. And ideally, we'd love to be your partner. Of course, that goes without saying, but we'd love to help advise schools down that journey. It's a little complex. And by the way, they're Jengaing their schedules and they're making sure athletes and coaches are healthy. So we're here to, do our part and help in any way we can to help you guys launch that full stadium when we're ready to be able to do that again with contactless safe game day. You can submit below. Anybody can hold their phone up, the camera up, and pull up here and submit the form, on this page if you're interested in learning more about it. Mm-hmm. And we'd love to hear some questions. The way that we all become more and more valuable is we understand the needs and challenges of our partners, our schools, and we're able to align the technology to address it. And hopefully even stay a step ahead, not too many steps ahead. That's not valuable, but
definitely.
So we'd love to hear some questions from anybody out there. If you've got some thoughts and some things that you want to share or some questions that you have for Carson and I, by all means, we'd love to hear them. Small, medium-sized school to get.
That's the bread and butter. That's how we got started. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's in the best interest of the fans. How do we help them, provide a safe and comfortable environment to place cashless and orders? So we have small high schools to large institutions, kind of covering the gamut. And I think the beautiful thing about the platform is the flexibility around, kind of create that experience tailored to how you see fit. And I think doesn't matter. It's small, medium, large. It fits in mold.
I'll piggyback on that, Carson. I think we, being in technology for a long time, I'll kind of come at this answer two ways. One, we say land and expand, land a core feature set, get the product that's small and you're using it. You make sure it's valuable. It doesn't cause new work. It just promotes what you're already doing, and slowly expand it to the needs of the school. And so that's important. We can always help kind of walk through that with schools. And then really most important, it all starts with what your goals are. If getting fans back and you need mobile ticketing to do it, or getting communicating to fans all the changes, and we need a communication platform that schools know that students will read, that fans will read, that community engagement partners will read. We really like to understand what are the goals of the athletic department or of the high school that you're trying to accomplish. And once we know those, we can say, hey, this is how you accomplish those through this product, through FanFood, and this is how we can get you started to make it simple. and make it really exciting and highly valuable for the school. So yeah, we've got really small high schools, some beautiful small NAIAs, junior college, all the way up to some beautiful big brands in the Power Five that we love as well. We love them all equally, and they have different goals. Yeah. Everyone has tradition. Everyone has fun things they're trying to get done. And, we've even found down to the small school, a lot of schools tell us, hey, we've got one concession. We're just selling pizza, hot dogs, and Gatorades. But by the way, the money we make off that concession, it's buying practice jerseys. It's core to us, delivering what we need to deliver for maybe our high school, small school athletic department.
Good question.
There you go, Carson.
Can you talk about how the ordering for concessions works from beginning to end? Yes, it's quite simple. You can either download the iOS or Android app or visit order.fanfoodapp.com to find your stadium or venue. And then from there, it's they're essentially virtual kind of concession stores that allow you to either pre-order or order now for pickup and delivery in venue. And then it'll depend on the service, depending on the venue, the operator's preference of, what they want to serve or how they want to serve the customers. Or there might be a branded app where you can, experience this solution at, right, Sue?
Yep, definitely. And I was picking up another question from Paige. Do you have any recommendations around creating digital game day programs through the app? Paige, we could walk you through that pretty easily. If you want to reach out, we'd love to connect with you. We have a full game day program feature within the app that actually lists the beautiful things you're doing around game day, pretty customizable to address your needs, what you're communicating, with some notification opportunities that sit on top of it. I think there's a couple more coming. That one we just answered. Yeah, I think we talked about how FanFood can be integrated into our platform. It's basically the concessions card. You click and boom, you're into that native FanFood experience. And you feel seamless. It's seamless. Yeah, this is great. Thanks for clicking to here. So that card on game day in a pocket, that second card on the bottom where FanFood's logo's sitting there beautifully, that's the concession card. You click, takes you to the next one where you get a chance to view concession stands. If there's many, you'll scroll between them. Then boom, I got the one I want. And I go to the right. I'm taking your thunder, aren't I, Carson?
That's it. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
Lovely assistant.
I would say to caveat off of that, what we kind of provide is right here on the right. It's kind of it's called a progressive web app. So we keep that kind of the integration, so to speak, super easy. What that is just kind of like a URL web browser that kind of enables that personalized experience.
Looks like we got a couple more questions. As a high school, we don't have a lot of staff or resources. How easy is it to launch and manage a solution like this? And can we afford it? A couple topics here. I guess we've got a FanFood approach and a from now on approach. So from our platform, resources are stand-ups in about 30 days. The application stands up from kickoff to go live. We call it launch parties, about 30 days. As far as time, it's about an hour or so a week until you get that live. And then once it's live, it can be an hour or so a week. And depending on the website provider you have, we're fully integrated with many website providers. So all the content you put in there can be directly dropped into the app. So we do everything we can to create no duplicate entry as far as content's created. Now there is some, but we work hard to make sure there isn't. And most of our schools, we have a reasonable license agreement. Not knowing the size of your school would be hard to quote it. So bear with me. I'd love to talk to you afterwards and walk through it with you, just understand what you guys are trying to do, give you a well-informed decision on if this helps you going forward. And most of our schools have a sponsor pay for it. And then because of in the platform, and I'd love to dovetail into FanFood, in our platform, we have great sponsorship placement opportunities. So one, the sponsor will pay for it. And oftentimes our schools, small ones, are generating revenue on top of that. Our big schools are generating significant revenue, and we're proud to help fuel that with them. So love to talk through that. And I know as far as FanFood's concerned, there's promotional opportunities in there as well. Yep. And maybe you can speak a little bit to the resourcing.
Yeah. In terms of like so in terms of like our business, we have a kind of a it's can we afford it? I guess the question is who is we? But I think yes, our solution, if this kind of as a standalone, there's a no cost kind of model to get started, and it's pretty easy. And then they're on average, what do sponsorship revenue opportunities look like? Sue, do you want to take that one? Or
yeah, I'd love to. And so, I don't want to bore the audience with too deep, but we spent a lot of time on this. We work with some of the national rights holders to make sure we have high value placement opportunities, and then work with our designers to make sure, first of all, the fan loves the app, because if the fan's not there, all the promotions in the world do nothing because there's no one to promote to. So we have a couple types. We have you can sponsor schools, sports. Your sponsor can sit alongside a sport. Your sponsor can be a naming rights sponsor, which creates a couple high visibility, beautiful placement opportunities. So there's placements within the app, and then notifications. iOS, Android, all these operating systems are really going toward putting as much content outside an app as possible, so that you just get a lot of home screen notifications. With the new iOS, there's lots of widgets that just sit on the home screen and you never go in the app. Maybe it's for weather or schedule or next up kind of things. So we've created a lot of out of app opportunities for sponsorship. It's the notification that tells you it's game time, it's game day, brought to you by, favorite chicken house, favorite sponsor down the street. So we have a whole promotional playbook. Schools don't typically use all of it, but schools have special things that their sponsors love. And we want to address that. We want to get the sponsor right where they want to be in the school, the revenue they need, and hopefully makes for everybody to be happy going forward. So many sponsorship opportunities would be the summary. Again, love to talk more about it. Ticketing fit into the solution. I'm going to put Carson. We'll give you a second here, Carson. But so from now on, we've sat on top of some of the top ticketing providers in college athletics for a few years. So we just sit, our motto is sit on top of your favorite partner and concierge to the app. So again, one-stop shop. Let's get that ticket flowing right to that app. Fans aren't looking for anything. So we integrate with a lot of the ticketing partners. It'll just seamlessly go through the app. If you don't have a ticketing partner, we have some preferred partners that we can simplify that decision process with you, show you what it looks like to have that ticket just click. There's your ticket right inside the app. We can show you what that looks like with some partners. I'm just reading into the future. FanFood currently, you can click and buy a Snicker. You can click and buy a Pom Pom. I'm pretty sure you can buy a ticket. So as the technology continues to move forward, we'd love to, anybody that wants to hop on and talk about that, we'd love to show you that as well. Am I fair jumping in there?
No, you said it better than I could. So.
So there's a question about resources for marketing and adoption. So yeah, this is a big deal, right? If we don't have if we don't have fans that have the app, have the FanFood, then it just doesn't work. So from now on, we come out of, like I mentioned, a company that's been doing technology for 20 plus years, and we take a lot of responsibility to create that adoption plan for you. So when we do a kickoff, if you say go, in our 33-point implementation plan, one whole phase is adoption plan. So really we make it pretty simple for you. We have a checklist and we say, where all are you communicating anything game day related, anything sports related, where all are you communicating anything like that? Let's add the app link to it. And then we create a whole marketing toolkit that provides all the assets of the right size to go through social channels, whether it be Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, just all those great channels your fans might be following, your students might be following. So we do a lot to plan a whole launch with schools, because that's what we're great at. We want you to say, hey man, you guys are great at the table. You took us down the path, but likely we're just gonna complement a lot of what you're already doing to get the word out.
And I know something that makes us a little bit kind of unique when we started the business was, what we heard that they liked, our partners really said that, yeah, they liked that how we didn't just provide software, right? We were helpful in their process, because I think the adoption piece remains one of the hardest, and it'll remain a challenge and when events do return. But I think if we can just be helpful, then we'll be good.
Yep. And high value, it's one thing to say, here's how we get in front of the fans. And then we say, here's what we do when we're in front of them. So they say, man, this is awesome. I want more of this and I want to stay close to it. So yeah, I think between FanFood and from now on, we guide you down the path, and then schools typically grab it and run, because once they see it just goes with what we're already doing, schools take off pretty quickly. But our coaches on our team are here to help all the time. We assign a customer success coach. They kind of become your best buddy and they're there to help make sure you have success, because, our success is aligned. We all want to be part of something successful. There you go, Carson.
Yeah, so you don't need any hardware to get started. It's a full kind of standalone kind of platform. We do provide hardware. We have these kits that are kind of configured into in a data plan with a tablet. That make it really, really easy. So when you open up the box, you're essentially, we'll be ready to place orders. Our team, I might have to steal that, Sue, by the way. I love how you say the customer coach, your coaches. I love that. So we kind of coach, through that process as well. And also we have a direct integration with a receipt printer, which is also kind of nice for an operator. So after, as soon as a fan places an order, it's printing a receipt, and kind of just helps, make that process as smooth as possible.
More to come. Does this solution only benefit fans in the stands, or can it work for fans who aren't at the game too?
I hope so. I mean, I think it's a, it should be a tool that, that could be used to connect to fans who aren't, at events right now. And I think that's kind of an important, piece, is we have that ability to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, we've really taken the position that assume no fans in stands, because actually whatever you do with no fans in stands still works if there's fans in stands. So we've got a whole checklist of things. We've got no fans in stands to create engagement, whether it's on Tuesday promoting through notifications a coach's show, click and watch, click and listen, or whether it's a trivia that you're promoting. We used to geofence tons. Still do, but it's interesting. Now we're geofencing maybe the local burger joint that's a great sponsor, a local retailer that's a great sponsor. Hey, go check out that retailer and get 10% off if you show this promo code. And then we're also, I think it's our duty to make sure that we have very rich experiences and engagement opportunities for out of venue and actually no game. Sorry, we don't love that topic, but it's just the reality. And let's make sure and keep that connection there. So our notifications can reach anywhere, in venue, out of venue. So the answer is yes, definitely. I think we both benefit if there's people in stands or not. There's any interactive features or games we can use to reward and incentivize fans to engage with us and our sponsors. So I'll dive in, and then we kind of complement each other here. So it's interesting. Our philosophy is we do listen to our partners, and if they say something enough, you probably better do what they're asking, because they're right. We want to be a great partner. So right. When we started 5-6 years ago, schools kept saying, hey, can you also do loyalty and rewards where students can check in, fans can check in, they watch a leaderboard, they check in, they get points, and they get rewarded. So we rolled out loyalty and rewards about 2 years ago. And I think 77% of our schools have added loyalty and rewards. It's an integrated feature in the app. And again, it kind of goes back to the last question. It was originally intended, schools were telling us their best use case, let's say that. was to reward fans for coming, maybe students for coming, students for being there at halftime. And you could go pick prizes, redeem your prizes, and watch a leaderboard and compete with your buddy who maybe went to more events than you did. And now we're, again, rewarding for lots of things. Tune into the coaches show, 10 points. Thanks for being loyal. Hit this retailer on Saturday, 10 points for, attending or going to a retailer that's a sponsor of ours. So trivia is a really fun one. We launched trivia. It was one of the first things that came out of our COVID reordering of our roadmap is let's get some trivia out there. So our trivia is a great way to do it, to be able to incentivize fans to get points for playing trivia at different times. We have live trivia, which is kind of cool, really cool. And then we've got scheduled trivia where it's just every Tuesday, get your trivia done. So yeah, lots of great ways to engage and incentivize and reward fans through the integrated options in the platform. And as far as mobile ordering, kind of a different breed of cat than what I'm talking about, but same, that's the birthplace of like loyalty and rewards, right? Credit cards and transactions. Do you want to comment to that so I don't hog the floor here, Carson?
I see, you said it better than I could. So.
So yeah, similar concepts, I guess.
Yes.
I see one here around, is the solution only for high school or colleges, or can it work for events and teams? And we'll look to Carson. Both.
Any event, any team, small or big, here to be helpful.
Yep. Yeah, both ways. We work with some bowls. We work with some minor league teams. We work with events, tournaments, and different types of events, and both. And together, we work beautifully to create, that contactless event situation. A team. So a team has a season. The team has schedules, stats, athletes, rosters, sponsors. All that stuff's great and beautiful to just layer into our platform. So yeah, we both bridge the gamut of games, events, and teams to answer the question.
Oh, I love this one.
Take it.
Something that we did pretty early on is, we partnered up with Feeding America, where we donate one meal with every order to a local food bank. And I love it. And I still think we can continue to do that. And I would love to get to a billion, that'd be awesome.
You guys have a rewards program for mobile spending though, don't you? Like what's your rewards based upon currently in FanFood?
It's so ours are right now more promotional discounts. So one time download the app, you get it. We give them a couple bucks off, for in exchange for placing their first order. And yeah.
Great. This should be the last question that I just got. Can the solution support lead gen for ticket sales, donors, sponsors? I'll take a quick stab, or do you?
No, you please go.
Okay. Yeah, we have some beautiful lead gen opportunities, like a trivia can be a great lead gen opportunity. You drop your cell phone number in and first and last name to play trivia, and now you've got yourself a lead gen list that can be reused for some other opportunities that are, generous to that fan that's playing. So as far as signing up for programs and signing up for loyalty and rewards and participating in different activities in the app or with FanFood, it's always, we want to be sensitive. We don't want people to feel like when they give their contact information, they've just been put on a robocall list, and no schools are going to do that, but we're also really sensitive because that fan relationship is really important that we keep warm and at the table for the school, for the team, for the event. But I believe on the FanFood side as well, you guys do great things with the donor program and the sponsor program to generate leads for schools. Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Great. Well, we are popping right up against time, and thanks to everybody that joined us. Carson, it's always nice to have some time together.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
You too. And I think we're all moving quick to address this contactless game day, and I think we all have our goals aligned between schools and events and teams and FanFood. And from now on, we want to get the fans in the stands. We want promotional sponsors to have some love, some attention. We want schools to have that that environment that they build all those events for, and that Saturday game day, Thursday night volleyball game, whatever it might be. So stay tuned. It's going to continue to expand from here, but together, feedback from schools and partners is, how we make sure and stay on track to stay high value, which was what we want to all be, is high value to each other. So thanks again, everybody, for joining today. And thanks, Carson.
Thank you.
Team.